video is basically my form of a plan with me video where I go through some example layouts that you can use, this academic year, as well as, a quick plan with me of going through myself decorating and prepping the planner for the month of October. And so I will start with some examples I've already created to give you a sense of how you can use a planner like this. And then I'll show you my particular version of it for this month. And so this planner in particular, it's currently on clearance at Michael's for 90% off. So it actually comes in a pack with the planner and also some accessories. So you might want to check your local Michael's if you don't have, if you're interested in getting a planner, because this one again was basically $4 and change, and it came with the planner, some washi tape, some stickers, a bookmark that I'll show you later, etc. But let's get started. So it came with these 3 as well in the pack. And for right now, I'll start by going through, obviously I got this planner recently, so the August and September I didn't need to use. I'm starting with October. But what I ended up doing instead is for the September months, let me open it here, which I absolutely love this cover for it. I ended up doing examples of layouts that you can use. And so to start with, you have the monthly spread that starts each month. And so just some ideas of how you can use this spread. So if you notice the washi tape going through these dates, that's basically me saying that there's some kind of event going on throughout that time period. So I went to New York for a week in the beginning of September. And then just as another little example, let's say you have a job fair or conference, you can use washi there too to designate, okay, these are the days of this month where I'm busy doing things. And so I need to make sure my work happens on the other days. And then I also obviously have a birthday, and then when my blog posts go live. So obviously you can use however you like the spread. On this side here, I like the idea of kind of saying what I want to get done each week right next to it. And I saw that actually, I believe her name is Alexis, MissTrenchcoat, so I'll link to her channel below. But I like her idea of how to plan using this notes in the month spread. But other than that, this particular planner, just to show you how the weeks look, let's just look at this random one. So it's designed like this. So it's only weekdays, because again, it's a teacher planner, but there's 7 sections. So there can be some maneuvering there. So for example, one way to use a planner like this, let's say, I'm used to teaching as part of being a grad student, right? So if you're still doing your coursework, you can have, let's say, the first 3 columns for the courses you're actually taking. And also you can do whatever you want as far as what notes you put there. And then I usually teach 2 classes a semester as part of my assistantship. And so I have those here. And then miscellaneous for the other 2 columns. And I chose, events and meetings. And then my top tasks that aren't necessarily connected to the coursework and my teaching, though of course they can be. And so as you can see here, pretty colorful. It doesn't have to be that way. I have a lot of stickers. Since this is an example sheet, I didn't use too many, but to give you a sense of how you can design the 7 categories. Because this is kind of meant for K through 12 teachers, so those who teach, science and math and English and art, etc. But we can obviously design it however we'd like. But if you don't like only planning the weekdays, you want to plan the whole week, then you can also do some customization. And so I have a lot of washi tape, so I just covered the dates here. And then as an example, these dates aren't correct for September, but you would just put the days of the week on top. And so I like designs that start with Monday and end with Sunday, but of course you can also do Sunday to Saturday or whatever the case may be. So in this case, you have the dates going down, and then on the right you have 5 categories to choose from, whatever you'd like. So I went with, teaching, coursework, health things, so going to the gym, groceries, meal prepping, that kind of stuff. Then miscellaneous, so it can be anything that happens to be taking place that week. So for example, dog sitting or going to the library or clearance at Target. And then my appointments, events, meetings, that kind of deal at the bottom. So Of course, again, if you're a grad student who teaches, other than these two, you still have these 3 categories that you can customize. Or you can just focus on, the 3 courses you're taking and the 2 courses that you're teaching, if that's the way it goes for you. So those are just 2 examples of how you can customize this particular planner. And then actually I also did an example here of, I'm not teaching this year, I'm just finishing up my dissertation and I'm going on the job market. So I actually have dissertation work, job application work, calls for papers, right? And then on this right side, I have more, self-care and my non-academic work, so exercise and healthy eating, and then the work on my blog and on my YouTube channel. So, a lot of customization is possible with this particular planner design, which is why I'm glad I found it on clearance. And so these are just 3 examples of how to potentially create a spreadsheet for yourself to make sure you're staying on track. All right, but let's move on to the plan with me portion of this. So let's go all the way up top here to October. And so I have the dashboard and the cover. This is the bookmark that comes with the accessory pack. So work hard, be kind, which I absolutely love. And just to kind of show you briefly before I actually get into designing it and customizing it for myself, I have a lot of accessories from the Happy Planner that I've gotten, on clearance for years at this point. And so this is one pack that I liked, and so I put it in the month spread. And so these would just be like, things I'm focusing on, important tasks to do throughout the whole month, what I'm grateful for, some spare notes, and then more notes here. So I have that one on the monthly spread. But then in the weekly spread, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna bother with customizing these, covering them, and putting the dates here. I would love to just work on the weekdays, but if I don't manage that, then what I have here is also an accessory pack with just 2, right? So I can have my Saturday and my Sunday just on these instead. And so these are obviously, timed, but I can always cover that or just ignore it and just write the tasks for the day. And then I like that backside as well. And so I have these 2 for each week of October. And then what I also have is just basically a master task list. So rather than needing to know what am I getting done on each day, I can just say, all right, well this week I want to get these things done. So I can have the master task list, and then let's say every morning, or even better, every night before the next day, I can say, okay, well here are the things I have on this list. Tomorrow is Tuesday, I'm gonna do this thing, and I can move it over here and then exit out so I know that it's now on my actual weekly spread. And what's great about this is if you don't get all of them done, crossed out, you can just take it off and move it to the next week. And I'm a color coder, so I actually had green for go, and then a bluish one, right, we're going on. Now it's like, all right, we're nearing, mid-October, are you getting this stuff done? And then like pink, which is actually a color I hate, but it's kind of like a warning, like the month is almost over, do these tasks and make sure it's all done for the month. And so that's basically what I have already prepped going into this month. Okay, so now I'm gonna fast forward likely through this next part because I tend to take my time figuring out how I'm gonna design it. But then I'll briefly go over it once I finish that up. And then I'll also show you a few digital versions as well that you might use, because while this is for my task, as you'll see, as far as like whole project planning, sure I can use like note paper in here, but I prefer using my digital bullet journal in that sense because it's easier to copy and paste things into it, which you'll see in a bit. Alright, so my dashboard is done for now, and pretty self-explanatory, but for my top priorities, I am visiting my campus this month in order to go over my job materials and talk about my dissertation with my committee in person. And I have to definitely get that chapter that I'm currently working on to the rest of my committee after my chair approves it, and then have at least half of the next chapter drafted, if not the full thing, because I'm a bit behind on that. So those are basically my priorities, along with drafting my job materials and finishing that up, because a lot of my applications are due November 1st. So hence the focus of the month being the applications. And so goals, definitely that one chapter, and the job apps. And then I don't have any students this semester, so I just covered it with a sticker. And so pool time, girls' night, and I'm gonna go watch my brother run a marathon in this month too. So I have those listed out. And then no events or holidays really that I need to add to it. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so I get that simple. So as I mentioned, basically to focus on, in this case, since I already mentioned the job apps and dissertation and my dashboard, I focused on the healthy lifestyle that I want to really focus on increasing and improving on. So meditation, healthy eating, and going to the gym and working out in the pool. And then of course, my big task for the month, the chapter, and also the job apps. And then one of my goals for this year was to do at least one community event a month. And then I'm grateful for my time at home this year, being able to live here in Florida for the year rather than staying in Illinois has been really helpful for me. So, and then I'll leave this room for notes as well as in the back as well too. Okay, so now the monthly spread. Alright, so I get that simple as well. I don't want to go too far into it just as things might change, but definitely this upcoming week, sending my cover letter drafts and my CV drafts to my advisor, because we're going to meet in person while I'm back at ISU. So I want to send those drafts by Monday because we're meeting the following Wednesday, which actually, let's go ahead and put a sticker there too. Okay, other than that, like I said, I have my visits, and then it goes from ISU and then Chicago for the marathon, when my blog posts go live, and when you turn in my job applications, because again, some of them are due November 1st. So nice and simple, and I'll just keep doing this side one as I go along. Let's go ahead and put my focus back in. So that's just a bit decoration and setting up my first columns. So focusing on my top 2 priorities for the month, then just one for decoration, and then blogging, YouTube, miscellaneous, and health. So I like how that looks. And so I tend to take the approach of filling out what I want to do the next day the night before. So that's why I'm leaving it blank for now. So in here, I'll basically use this planner for, setting out what small task I want to do each day, any deadlines that I have, right? And then kind of recording, my health stuff. So, did I eat a healthy lunch or dinner? Did I meal prep? Did I go to the gym or go in the pool? For how long? How many steps do I walk a day? So I can kind of record that here. But the other ones are just basically small tasks, and then here would be more events or meetings. So I don't use this planner for project planning, so thinking big picture of things I have to do, I prefer to do that in digital form because I find it much easier to fill out, my spreadsheets and long lists of tasks to do for a complete project in digital form because it's easier to type it out. And so now I'll switch over to my digital bullet journal to kind of show you, more layout ideas in case you're more of a bullet journal person or in case you're someone who just prefers it being digital. Okay, but again, this is just kind of an idea of how you can do it if you have this particular planner or even if you don't in a paper planner. Okay, so as far as digital project planning goes, this is the free digital bullet journal that I offer on my Teachable School. So the free one comes with 5 built-in templates and a blank template as well that you can customize yourself. And I do have video about how to customize page templates, which I'll link below too. So I ended up turning off the light and really darkening the screen so it can be hopefully seen pretty well on the video. So the lighting probably has changed drastically from the first part of this video, but I'm hoping you can see clearly the whole screen. And so here is just the cover page, and I've added the design. It just comes in the blue, the free one. But basically, project planning, this notebook has 3 sections, and so I basically have tracking and then planner templates, and the last one, you'll see soon enough what it is. But in the first case, these are hyperlinked, so it's easy to maneuver, and these are the templates that are included. But in the first page, in the first section, here basically is the weekly spread that comes with the free notebook as a template. And so I basically wrote in here what the ideal week looks like for me, how much time I'm spending writing and how much time I'm spending editing my dissertation chapters. And so you can always have, I think it's helpful to have a page of what is your ideal week? What are you doing at what time? And then one reason I really like digital planning is because you can just take pictures of various screens and then just add it to a planner like this. And so this is actually the template from Google Spreadsheets. And there's a few that are education focused. And so I just customized it a bit. And as you can see here, I have, fall 2019. And so, you can write out the subject, the assignment, the status, the time, the start date, and the due on, right? So if you're someone who's still in coursework, or even if, you want to track the assignments you've assigned in your own classes, here's a spreadsheet that it's easy to just, zoom in and you can write or type right into the document. And then similar, this also came from a Google spreadsheet template, and I basically took a picture of the calendar and then just cut it down to October and pasted it 4 times here to track, things that I want to do. So I want to make going to gym a habit, writing, meditating, and going to bed by 11. So as you can see here, if I do the thing, I can just highlight, on the days that it happens, and then obviously not do on the days that I miss. So I can see on one page spread, did my habits, did I get into them or not this month? How well did I do? And then again, so it comes with a blank page template, and so that's how I used, these 2 sheets. I just pasted right on top of it the images I took from Google Drive. And so here's one way that you can kind of use digital tools. Obviously, you can just print this out on paper and put it in your paper planner, but you can also keep it digital if you want to. Now, as far as planner pages, I showed you the layouts in my teacher planner, but I wanted to show you, so the 4x4 template comes also with the free planner. There's only 5 in the free one. There's 37 templates in the one that, you can pay for. But in this case, with the 4x4, I haven't taught or had a class on a Friday in like my whole time as a PhD student. So in this case, you can do Monday through Thursday. And again, kind of separate, teaching tasks, coursework tasks, events and meetings, and miscellaneous. So, but if you do have a 5-day work week, then you can also just, edit the Monday through Friday template that comes with this free one. And so literally all I did here was add lines straight through each day. And so again, I can do teaching tasks, coursework tasks, and then events or miscellaneous, however I want to split that up. And so these are just very easy lines that I drew onto the template. Now, the last one, which I forgot to name, This is basically for project planning. So this spreadsheet was actually intended to be an attendance sheet. So it's 15 by 16 because a semester tends to be 16 weeks long, and I usually have 30 students, so I just have 2 of these. What we can use it here is for, as you can see, planning my 4th chapter of my dissertation, right? So I can write out, or you can write out the small tasks that you have for a project, and then, in this case, obviously it's not the whole month, but you can just have a second spreadsheet for the rest of it, and you can, as I started doing here, you can highlight the days that you do these tasks. So you can get a sense of how long did it take me to collect quotes, to outline it, to write my introduction, etc. And so this can give you kind of a snapshot of, all right, going forward, I now know usually how long it takes me to do this type of activity. In a similar manner, I use Trello. I absolutely love it. And so there's an app and a website version. So in this case, I just took a screenshot of, chapter 4 broken down into its various parts, very similar to the page before. And once I took up the picture, I just added it to this PDF, and now I can take notes on the right side. And so again, this is why I like digital project planning, because it's so easy to take a screenshot and then put it in. So of course you can do a filing system instead in Google Docs or whatever the case may be. But what I would like here is I can just, click export, and I can export the whole PDF, and I can have just one file with all the information, tracking and planning my various activities for the fall semester. And so these are just a few examples of how to do project planning in a digital planner or bullet journal. And so in case you want to try some of these out, I would love to know which template or which spreadsheet you like the most for the ones you've seen, either in this planner or in my paper one. But if this is kind of information that you like seeing on my channel, I would appreciate you clicking the like button below and letting me know. And if you want more of these Plan With Me videos, go ahead and comment below and tell me what kind of Plan With Me video are you interested in. Something like this, or would you rather me not fast forward through things? Do you want me to focus on just showing different spreadsheets? What would interest you if you're curious about Plan With Me videos?